Hello, everybody. My name is Ray. This is the Bearded Men of Real Estate show. Over here is Dan. Say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
We are real. That just never gets old to me. I see you up for it every time. But anyway, we are real estate agents. I am in Arkansas, Central Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas area. Dan, where are you?
Currently, I have no idea. I was teleported to some weird world, but they're calling it outside of Los Angeles, whatever that means. So I'm going with it.
Outside of Los Angeles. Isn't it like the Empire, right? Something about
the Inland Empire is technically where I'm sitting.
That's it. Okay.
Oh, we already have our first commenter.
It's kind of stalkerish to see it right when we start, given the. Well, thanks for joining, Jackie. So this show is just it's kind of for real estate agents, although I think this one we have some specific news that homeowners may be interested in too. It may be affecting their marketing of their properties on Facebook. But anyway, this show, basically we run down some of the top news stories of the week, or in this case of the 2 weeks, let you know what's happening in the housing market, what's happening in the real estate industry. And then today we're going to talk a little bit about marketing too. So I think we'll dive deep to that. So without further ado, why don't we get into the show?
Okay. Still working on it.
Okay, so I'm first up here. So mortgage applications rose 4.1% as borrowers' last chance to get lowest rates. Interest rates rose, but borrowers may have jumped in, especially to refinance their current loans, worried about the long run of record low rates is over. Total mortgage application volume for the week rose 4.1% seasonally adjusted, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. Volume rose 5.6% from a year ago. So applications to refinance home loans led the charge. So these are more refi applications than new purchase applications, rising 4% for the week. Refinances are usually highly sensitive to even small moves in interest rates, which is why gains aren't following normal patterns. Interest rates rose to their highest level since March. The average contract for interest rate mortgage with conforming loan balances up to $453,100 or less increased 4.33%, or increased to 4.33% from 4.23%. So it's up 0.1%, with points increasing 0.54 from 0.35, including the origination fee for 80% loan-to-value loans. Let's see. So this is a quote from Joel Kahn, a MBA economist. It's terrible. So Treasury
I like economists.
Economists. Treasury yields moved higher on average last week based on the news that both Japanese and European economic growth is strengthening, along with the concern that China may reduce U.S. Treasury holdings in the near future. So Dan, what say you?
Well, so interest rates rising. It's a big scary thing, right? But I always have this conversation. Am I freezing? Am I still here?
Yeah, now you're still here. Now I can see you.
Okay, good.
You're good.
It's honestly best if it would just freeze on some like weird face and then just hear me talking. That would be awesome.
You're like this for me. But I don't know if everybody else. So I don't know what. If you're here, can you let us know if you saw Dan freeze or if you didn't? Hi, Brian. How are you doing?
Hi, Brian.
I want a shirt. I need a t-shirt. What is this? Y'all having like your own conversation?
They're fighting over us.
They're fighting your t-shirt. Okay.
I think I'm guessing it's a Dan t-shirt. Yeah. So mortgage rate rose. So that's the thing. So mortgage rates rise, right? So they're going to do that. But total mortgage application volume for the week rose as well. So that's also a good sign. And I probably had this conversation or giving you guys this kind of script on here, but I always say the same thing. You need to go back and look historically. When you look at the early 2000s, the early 90s, things were in 7, 8, 9, 10%. I think in the early 80s, maybe the early 80s, they were 7, 8, 9, 10%. Early 90s, they were 17%. When you go back historically at 4.1 or 4.25 or wherever we are right now, we're fine, and you need to be having these conversations with your clients. Again, if they're on the fence or if they're worried about something, it's more of especially with it still being not even springtime yet, with inventory low, but not as many buyers out there. They need to be getting off this fence to take advantage of where we're at now. But historically, like if they're just not ready and they're not going to be for 6 months, like don't freak out. It's okay.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I mean, a lot of it was refi. So usually when somebody refinances their house, they're either looking to get some money out and put back into it. So I could see this maybe being people refining their home or pulling out equity of their home so that they could maybe do a little remodel or something like that, maybe even getting it ready for sale. So that would be good. But traditionally, when people refi their home, they're going to be there another 2 to 3 years so that they get the value out of that refi. So that could mean a lot more people staying still. That's my only concern. However, there were still a lot of mortgage applications, which is good for us in general as a percentage.
Exactly. And that just that the applications are rising is a good sign. There's more and more buyers out there. But now on to the next headline.
Hey, wait, Donna. Hey, Donna. And hey, Brian. I love that people are saying my full name. I guess maybe that's tagging me on Facebook on our side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I got the notification that Colin tagged me, but on here it just says, well, I think he only did Dan, but yeah. We're just seeing Ray Allen.
Right.
Oh, we're still getting dibs on Dan. Colin likes dibs, and I have dibs on Colin, by the way. So.
I keep it. I accidentally hit that button, but okay.
So many buttons. So the last one, there's more applications going out there, but rising mortgage rates could mean even fewer homes for sale this spring. There's still plenty of snow blanketing a wide swath of the nation's neighborhoods. Wow, I said that very eloquent. Swath. But the spring housing market is just around the corner. This year it will be more competitive than ever, with the supply of homes for sale at record lows and rising mortgage rates threatening to make the situation even worse. Now, if you go based on our last thing we just read, people are still applying for mortgages. So maybe it kind of negates that first sentence there, or that first paragraph. President's Day is considered the start of the busiest season for housing, with big builders touting holiday sales to kick it off. Over the existing home market, however, there's nothing to shout about. There are 10% fewer homes for sale compared with a year ago. And in the hottest markets where prices are appreciating the fastest, there are up to 40% fewer homes for sale, according to Zillow, which we super duper trust Zillow, right?
Yeah.
Low supply last year caused home prices, which were rising already, to accelerate, and that continues now. Prices are increasing far faster than incomes, even as the economy and employment improves, which I've kind of had that thought and that conversation with people for a few years now. Now mortgage rates, which sat near record lows for the bulk of 2017, are suddenly rising. Are we panicking, or are they just rising a little bit? I don't know. The average rate on the popular 30-year fixed, I like that it's popular. The popular 30-year fixed is up 0.25 percentage point since the start of this year to around 4.25%, according to Mortgage News Daily. The expectation, I almost said a funny one there. The expectation is that they will continue to move higher as the Federal Reserve raises rates and investors move away from the bond market. So they are predicted to go up. So what do you think on that, Ray?
Well, I mean, you said it kind of halfway through. It kind of negates some of that first paragraph, and the reason, or the first story a little bit. The reason why I kind of wanted to see those two stories back to back is they were both produced by CNBC.
Yep.
So you have the one news organization producing something that's kind of relatively contradictory in some ways. So
a little bit contradictory, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and everyone is trying to predict the future, which we will get into in the deep dive. We will be actually telling you exactly what's going to happen in the future, which is cool. You want to stay tuned for that. But Zillow bases their data on some things that are kind of wildly inaccurate, and so
yes,
that it's kind of hard to trust the data from Zillow, though they get so much data now that the percent error is probably lower for a study like this. So it could be true. I don't know. There's a lot of factors involved. Maybe some of the storms we had, maybe, there's still a lot of winter weather here. So we'd love to go take photos of some homes, but they're gonna have snow on the roofs and it's just gonna kind of look drab outside. So we're waiting. Hopefully the sun will peek out next week. We can go get some pictures and get these houses listed. So maybe a little bit of that kind of thing too happening all around the U.S. with that winter storm that came through.
Yeah, and that's where you can't really put that into a stat, and right. I know Zillow's pulling from more and more places, but when you read something that says more and more people are applying for, and it was up a pretty good percentage when more and more people are applying for it for whatever reason, because interest rates are going up and they're afraid, or it's a good time. But I honestly just think people, when they are ready to buy, they're going to buy.
Yep.
It's just how it works.
So.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a real estate agent, I'm sure most of you out there are experiencing some low inventory, but we would love to hear some of your comments on this. Do you think it's going to stay low? What do you think about interest rates? Is this going to affect the housing market drastically, or is it going to have very little impact? So feel free to chime in there. All right. So on to one of my favorite topics, politics.
The government shutdown. Yes. And
government shutdown will create roadblocks in the housing market.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Dan? I'll put you back up here. What's that?
Well, I was just going to say on the last thing before we move on to your favorite topic. Mine too. Since that weird Thanksgiving in 1986, I haven't really talked politics much. Just some stuff happened, and I'm just so gun shy on it. No, I was just going to say, like, for realtors, we're asking for feedback. You know, we always want comments and questions and things like that. We're very good at handling these things live. So I'd love to hear what you guys are doing to shake your sellers loose, because they still have to sell. There's not, I would say more people have to sell because whatever reason, their house is too small or someone's moving. But those ones that are on the fence because they have the equity now and they're trying to wait, I'd love to hear how you're going to shake them off the fence, because more and more buyers are coming into the market. How are you going to get listings for them? And that's how we can learn to double in deals. So I'd love to hear that if you guys are into it. So sorry, Ray, let's get to your favorite topic.
No big deal. Yeah, my quote unquote favorite. So government shutdown will create roadblocks in the housing market. If the ongoing congressional budget standoff forces government shutdowns, home buyers and sellers could be subject to more headaches than usual before their deals close. That's because buyers are looking for mortgage approval and could hit paperwork roadblocks if the shutdown furloughs workers at the IRS or Social Security Administration. This is what happened in October 2013, the last time the budget gridlocked millions of government workers on furlough, gummed up the works of the U.S. housing market. Another note here is all the government approvals like VAs, FHA, RD loans, all that kind of stuff. It seems like that would also be impacted by this, but the article didn't mention it.
Yeah.
Just on a side note, somehow this is supposedly all the Republicans' fault. But then back in 2013, when the Republicans weren't in power, somehow this was all the Republicans' fault, which I just think is interesting how they're all reporting this. So you kind of have to peel back through some of the politics that when people are talking about this to know exactly how real estate is going to be impacted and how your buyers and sellers are going to be impacted. So I encourage you, as you want to share this stuff on your own Facebook page, please do so, but do it with the caveat that you may want to pick an article that's kind of neutral, because I guarantee about half the people that follow you on Facebook think one way and half the people think another way. So it's good to say, hey guys, if you are thinking about buying, if you're going under contract right now, here's something you should watch out for. And just know it could take 15, 30 days longer to close, depending on the loan type, approvals, if they have their IRS paperwork, if that could be verified. So if you are under contract right now, move as fast as possible.
Yeah, because it's looming at this point.
Right.
No, it's a great note because, and the whole thing about, I want to hammer down a little bit on what you said about kind of more a bipartisan. I mean, you saw just with our CNBC articles there, they kind of they didn't necessarily fully contradict one another, but they did in a way. So, you want it to be that way. You just want to be more informative. Because I think this is a big thing to let people know about how it could affect, if it's more neutral, because you don't want to start a political debate. But the bottom line is this is the people that are supposed to be working for us. It's their fault, not left or right. It's their fault. It's politicians' fault is what it is. So I don't even know it's just a whole thing that can totally be avoided, but people bickering over this or that. But I think that's a great point because the climate is so crazy right now with, oh no, you said this or you said that. Let's avoid that.
Throw in funny gifs whenever somebody hates on your post and starts getting all political. Funny gifs will liven up the mood.
That's what I do. There's a bunch. Just search funny owls. You'll have 1,000 of them.
There you go. Yeah. or Will Ferrell. We did like a week of Will Ferrell. Just back and forth.
No.
That was fantastic.
I'm going to go find that now, right, and start it up again.
Totally. What was it, Tim? Was he the other guy there?
It was Tim, and I think at the end of the day, it was
Macy and
wasn't it like 85 comments or something total?
Yeah. 80. Well, gifts, all gifts.
Gifts, all gifts, and all Will Ferrell. All of them.
It was fantastic.
All and right. Only one repeat, but no one knows what we're talking about, so we should probably move on. Welcome to the super secret meeting show where no one knows what we're talking about.
Subcontext everywhere.
Everything is subcontext. Try to keep up. But if you know, dude, you're on the inner circle. So, all right. U.S. housing starts down sharply on a drop in single-family units. Dun, dun, dun. U.S. home building fell more than expected in December. I heard gifts. Oh, yeah. We didn't give away 58 gifts in one. No, we didn't do that. Yeah. And don't say GIFs. That's the peanut butter. All right. U.S. home building fell more than expected in December, recording its biggest drop in just over a year. So not too long. Amid a steep decline in the construction of single-family housing units following 2 months of hefty gains. When we've reported all those gains. You heard it here first, is what we're saying. Housing starts decreased 8.2% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.192 million units, the Commerce Department said on Thursday. November's sales pace was revised up to 1.299 million units from the previous reported 1.297, so not a huge difference, but adjusted up. December's percentage drop was the largest since November 2016. Economists, how do you say that? Economists polled by Reuters had forecast housing starts decreasing to a pace of 1.275 million units last month. Home building decreased 2.4% to 1.202 million units in 2017, the highest level since 2007, which again, we all know what happened then. December's moderation in home building is likely to be temporary amid strong demand for housing that is being driven by robust labor market. And my first question here would be, was this just a blip, a month-long or 2-month-long blip, but it'll eventually come back to supply for the differences in resale homes? Ray, it's all you.
All right. The first half of that question was what you kind of broke up a little bit. Is this a temporary blip where in a month or two it'll come back? Is that what you said?
Yes. Is this a temporary blip, and will it come back because there is such lower inventory? Yes, in resale homes. So will new housing take over for that?
Well, another big problem a lot of builders are having is labor, right? So they can find jobs to do, but they can't find the qualified people to do them a lot of times. So if the labor force strengthens, I think around construction and builders, I know there's still a lot of people helping in Houston. I think one of my painters is gone, helping out some of the more depressed areas and things like that. So if that continues to happen in our area, then they're going to need some help in order to get the housing starts back up. However, it usually evens out. I mean, that means the price of new construction may increase if there is if there's not a lot of inventory left and there's not a lot of new construction inventory left. Some people just want to buy new. So we could see the price of new construction going up. I would say it's also possible, and I think we may get in. Yeah, we're going to get into this in the next story, but it's also possible that this may be a way better time for sellers than even last year or in 2016, fall of 2016, when inventory started to tighten a lot. So everyone said, oh, next year it'll be better. Next year it'll be better. This is a seasonal tightening, and it wasn't at all in our area. So it was continually tough to find people houses. We had to use other methods to find homes, but still what we saw were buyers were still picky and they were still price sensitive. So even though it was more of a seller's market last year, buyers were still kind of picking and choosing and would just rather not buy than buy that one. So that was also something interesting that we saw happening a lot last year. So I don't know. I think it is temporary. I think housing starts are going to pick back up, especially when the spring run hits. They're probably doing dirt work and things like that right now so that they can get them up. Yeah.
That is really interesting that they would chance interest rates going up, because the last year and a half it's been the talk of they're going up, but we don't know when. So they would chance and now we've seen it. And you never want someone just to pick a home just to avoid paying 1/8 of a point higher. But
Right.
It's interesting that they would just kind of go, you know what, I'm going to wait to see what pops up in a month, or, that's interesting because that's different in our markets. There's, even though it's lower, there's still plenty of stuff to look at. And we have our mutual friend that is literally making videos about, I don't have any inventory to sell, but I have buyers.
Yeah. I don't expect us to get to that point because there is still inventory there, but the good stuff sells so fast that then you're like things that you have to modify, change, make your own, that kind of thing. So, all right, cool. Let's get into the next story. I find this one really interesting. Homeowners are sitting on trillions in cash, and it's not in Bitcoin. The amount of equity, I added that last part. The amount of equity borrowers have in their home at their disposal has reached an all-time high in the third quarter of last year. The 42 million homeowners with mortgages have a collective 5.5 trillion in tappable equity, according to the Black Knight Data Analytics, which studies the mortgage industry. This is 3 trillion more than they had when the housing market last bottomed in 2012, after the financial crisis. Black Knight defines tappable equity as the amount available for homeowners to borrow before reaching 80% debt to value against their home. Let's see. Following the housing crash, millions of borrowers fell underwater in the mortgages, owing more home was fast rising home prices over the last 2 years have brought homeowners above water and beyond. Approximately 80% of home owners now have equity that they can use, cash, which could fuel the economy. What's happening? Oh, let's see.
I'll just get through this. I'll point out why I know why you stopped, but go ahead.
So just 2.7% of borrowers, or about 1.36 million, still owe more on their mortgages than their homes are worth. Wow, that's a bigger number than I thought.
That is a way bigger. So just 2% of borrowers still owe more on their mortgage.
Almost 3% of borrowers owe more than their homes are worth.
Yeah, and when you put that number over 42 million homeowners, that's a pretty big chunk. So my first, hi Colin. So my first kind of reaction would be, if you have these distressed properties in your neighborhoods, in your markets, are you marketing to them? Are you trying to help them short sale to help move away from that?
Short sales are terrible in our market.
Are they?
I think I've successfully closed one.
Wow.
It's hard to close a short sale in our market.
We have one right now that we are 15 months into. We're waiting. And
I had one that went 18 months and then they said no. I had a guy, I had the seller and the poor buyer's agent. I think I sent her something at the end of this transaction because she just kind of hung in there and kept hanging in there. I had over 30 offers on the property. And after 18 months, they said, no, we're just going to foreclose on it. They wound up taking 20,000 less than that offer was. Yeah.
It's so weird to me because they take less of a hit for, obviously as a side note, but they take less of a hit for a short sale than they do for foreclosing. And they could potentially make more money because short sales, if it's in an okay condition, it's not like it was in 2012 and 13 where it was a 20% decrease or depending on your market. But around here, it was sometimes a 10, almost 20% difference because it was a distressed property. But nowadays, if it's well taken care of in a nice clean home, it's still going to pull market value. Like,
interesting.
There's not full differences, but if it's a little bit beat up, then that's where you can get the deals and you can try to go all cash or whatever and try to steal one. But I think that's so interesting because Jacob, a little bit about Jacob is he made his mark in real estate with short sales back in 1999 through. Yeah. So he was doing it before they were even called short sales and they were taboo. Now they're a little more acceptable. At least they are here.
I feel like during that time period, it may have been easier because banks were just like drowning and couldn't get out. And so please buy this. Okay, let's do the deal. Please buy this one. Okay, somebody's going to buy it. Now it just seems like they're almost impossible to work with in the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. It's very tedious. You have to upload new docs for the seller every month just to say, don't decide on a price yet. Like what's going on? It's hard.
Yeah. And our negotiators constantly working. And like I said, right now we have a very small sampling, but that's also because the markets are stronger and we're not dealing with as many distressed properties. So no, but I wanted to go back to, you paused right. Approximately 80% of homeowners, paused right on homeowners, and I know why. And it may have just been subliminally, but because you read meow.
Yeah. I can never see homeowners the same again.
No.
Having the video. If you don't know about the meow video, you have to check out the homeowner video. I'll post it in the show notes later.
Isn't it literally like 15 seconds?
Yeah, it's 15 seconds of incredible. It's one of
the best videos you've ever seen. So
here's what I want everybody to do. We were about to talk about Facebook. And this, if you're a real estate agent, this is super important news. If you have a marketing company or a business, or if you do anything in life that needs to be shared on Facebook, this is super important. So do your friends a favor, click the share button and share this section of the show, because Dan is about to read a letter from Zuckerberg, kind of. It's a press release. But then we will talk about more after Dan kind of goes through this. Then we will talk about it more. He
actually wrote it to me and then said, asked if I could get it out to the press. I was like,
right.
Zuck, sure, man. Like,
it's kind of a love letter.
Like we I call them the Zucks. Like we're cool like that. But anyway, I'll read this. All right. So Facebook is changing your news feed. Scary. It says here's a blimp from the announcement of Facebook.
I meant blip. Sorry. Typo.
And then we have economist as well.
Economist and a blimp.
This is good. Yeah, I don't want to be known as an economist, so I'm an economist.
Economist.
All right. There's your new word for the day. I just made up one for you guys. Use it at will. All right. Here's a blip from the announcement from Facebook. Quote, today we, Facebook, use signals like how many people react to, comment on, or share posts to determine how high they appear in the news feed. With this update, we will also prioritize posts that spark conversations and meaningful interactions between people. To do this, we will predict which posts you might want to interact with, which I think is crazy right there. We're just going to try to predict it.
Yeah.
With posts which you might want to interact with your friends about, and show these posts higher in the feed. These are posts that inspire back and forth discussion in the comments, and posts that you might want to share and react to, whether that's a post from a friend seeking advice, a friend asking for recommendations for a trip, or a news article or video promoting lots of discussion. So we're seeing a theme here. They want back and forth. Their original announcement, this is the second part, I guess. Their original one was we want that community feel again. We want people talking again, not just watching silly cat videos, although I love cat videos. We will also prioritize posts from friends and family over public content, consistent with our news feed values. What does this mean for pages and public content? Because space in newsfeed is limited, showing more posts from friends and family and updates that spark conversations means we'll show less public content, including videos and other posts from publishers or businesses. As we make so that right there says it affects any sort of business that's posting anything like that. So obviously realtors. As we make these updates, pages, realtors. Yeah. Like minotaurs. As we make these updates, pages may see their reach, video watch time, and referral traffic decrease. The impact will vary from page to page, driven by factors including the type of content they produce and how people interact with it. Pages making posts that people generally don't react to or comment on could see the biggest decrease in distribution. Pages whose posts prompt conversations between friends will see less of an effect. Okay, that last sentence, that last little bit about pages, straight up says you got to start paying for ads. So if you're a realtor and you just try to go organically, stop it. It's not going to work anymore.
Well, so that's where I will agree and disagree with you.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Yep. So
what by the way, can I ask?
Yeah.
When does this when is this ready to
when does it launch?
When does it launch? Yeah.
Let's see. Let me see if I've got the article right here. Well, we know that they're getting rid of engagement bait. Let's see. That's where people say, "Hey, share this post, and you could win a thing."
Yes.
They're getting rid of that completely.
Which they should, because those are useless. So I mean, no big deal. I just want to know what it takes.
I guess it's going to be an update. I don't see an actual date on here. I may be missing it, but I'm just scanning the article. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what this means is that they're trying to they want people to have a conversation. Now, one of the things I picked up on is it said posts that are to friends and family versus posts that are public. So this is an individual. So if you have right now, you post something on your page and it's set to public, then it will get less traffic than a post that is set to friends and family only or a select group of people. So what it's saying is if you are making that a priority, then they are going to make that a priority too. So it gets in front of more people. So, my mom is not battling against somebody trying to sell pearl oysters to say, hey, everybody, it's our 50th anniversary, whatever it is. They're going to prioritize that content so that people will discuss it, interact with it. So they're wanting to keep people on the feed. Well, they make a lot of money from people like us advertising on Facebook to get the eyeballs and attention. Right. So if this will decrease that organic activity, you have to find a different way to generate organic views, I guess you could say, on your videos and things like that.
Yes.
So creating something that creates interaction, Facebook Live, like we're doing now, creates a certain bit of interaction between you who are watching it and us. Like Stephanie, who made a good point. So we'll put her up there. Maybe they can, since you're ready to buy a home, and then Stephanie put my open house video in your feed. They seem to know my thoughts anyway. So very, very good point. It could be a great use of how they do it, but I think they're going to charge you for that. There is several settings on your Facebook audiences and things like that you can look at, and that is one of them. People that are thinking about buying or selling, you can actually get your ad in front of them now, but you pay for it. So I think they're going away from as much free stuff as possible to maximize the price you pay. And so that means that internet leads overall are going to go up unless, and this is where I disagree with you, unless you could create content that people interact with naturally.
Right. Okay, so here, let me stop you there because there's, and by the way, let's all say hi, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
So there's a whole thing about, that was good. I love the slurp. I think your drink is done. You need more.
I do.
So that's always a thing. So you can coach on it. You can try to train people on it, like how to be interactive, how to spark that conversation. But there's not all realtors are really good at sparking conversation and getting that kind of back and forth. Sometimes they post something they have no idea why, but it gets great interaction. So, and how do they duplicate that? So that's why I'm saying, but usually a public post or from a Facebook page, you're going to make it public. So that kind of, unless you're paying for it, you're not going to get it in people's feeds. Cause it feels like I had this revelation it was a full revelation as you were speaking there. It seems like they're actually trying to get people to interact more. So I'm wondering why. Right. They want to keep people on their feeds more, because off to the side, what's over there on the side? Ads.
Yeah. I never run my ads on the side though. That may push people to run ads on the side, because I always just put mine in stream only.
Yeah. So if it's not going to be stream based anymore, you're going to have to do them off to the side. Again, don't know the validity of this. Haven't seen these changes, but that just seems like if you're constantly on your feed, and because sometimes you're looking at your feed. By the way, we went into the deep dive without even telling you guys. I apologize. Well, we're in the deep dive. If they're trying to keep you in your feed longer, because if you're scrolling through, you're like, okay, that one I want to talk about that one, but then you scroll through 15 different things, you're not looking at that feed over here, or that's the side where all the adverts are. But if you're commenting, because now these are the importance, and they're predicting properly what you want to talk about, they're going to keep you there for a while, whether you're on your phone or your desktop version. So I think it's interesting, but I think there's something behind it for sure.
Yeah, but that's not even like, I'm looking at the mobile feed right now, right? So this, there's an ad, Icon Inc. Right in my feed.
Hey, is that the new iPhone X?
Oh yeah, you'll notice the notch. Yeah, there you go. So I'm just kind of looking to see, there's no, here's the post from Colin, right? So there is no sidebar on mobile, and I find from my post and everything, 80 to 90%, depending on the house and such, 80 to 90% of my traffic is from mobile. So maybe that is because I'm using in-feed only, but I just don't see the same people, the same amount of clicks on ads that are on the right side of the screen. Stephanie's posted, let me see. I'll put that up there. Facebook's saying that they're attempting to get back into seeing more friends and family type stuff. So the ads would be counterproductive. Well, they're saying that they want to get back to friends and family type stuff organically for the public reach, but they're still going to put ads out in front. You just won't get the same activity from your original post that just goes to your business page. You're not going to get that same interaction or activity on that.
Yeah.
It's just another service of slipping in their feed for sure. Yeah, and what I'm doing now is I'm paying for ads that slip into people's feed, especially people that are thinking about buying a home, or people that are remodeling houses that flip in. Do you want to sell, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just when I post something on my page, it's not going to get the same organic reach that it used to.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way,
we're going to have to become a lot more creative with what we share and how we share it. In order for it to make sense to continue to do Facebook advertising, which I do a lot of. So we're going to have to change some of the stuff we do. We have pretty good interaction. We've had 10 to 12 people watching. I think now there's only 7. So thank you 7 who are still hanging in there. But a lot of the views of this show, because it is during the day, people have a job, they work. So a lot of the views of this show come much later. And that's one of the reasons why we're still doing this on our personal page and not our business page is because this is kind of a personal venture currently, and we're just talking about news and real estate. We're real estate agents, so that's what we do. In the future, there will be a Facebook page, but to start a Facebook page with all these algorithm changes, even the algorithm they had before, to start a Facebook page and then go live on it, you have a total of 0 viewers. So what's the purpose of going live with 0 viewers if you can't get interaction, which is the whole reason that you go live?
Right.
So that's why we're still on the personal page. But in the future, we'll be when we actually have an audience.
And people go there and they get the notifications and stuff, because I think that's interesting too. So, Ray, let me get your thoughts on this. So if there's an agent out there that's that doesn't really have a personal preference, they that's their personal stuff. They don't really talk about real estate, and they push most of their real estate stuff through their page. Yeah. Don't you think they should start transitioning to just start talking about, a little bit more real estate, or pushing more content through their personal page? Is that I'm reading that way, right?
Yeah, somewhat. In my opinion, I've always tried to keep a 4-to-1, depending on the week, or maybe even an 8-to-1. I still put personal stuff out there, and I'm kind of conscious about putting a lot of work business stuff. But you got a guy that has a 9-to-5. He puts work stuff out there too. So people are interested in what happens and what you do, and what in life type stuff is. But they're not. They don't want to be. Hey, do you know anyone that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Give me a call. That kind of stuff. Right. I mean, they will block you for that, and I would too. So. People are interested in you because they like you, and if they don't like you, then you should unfriend them, or they should unfriend you, probably.
Yeah, probably.
So just building that close set of friends and that group and your closer sphere of influence, and letting them know kind of what's going on in your life, even if it is real estate related, but not hounding them about doing a CMA for their property, or, the buy, sell, and invest pitch, or, those things that you go to a conference and they say, everyone say this right now. And then I see everyone post that because I'm friends with a lot of real estate agents. I'm like, guys, that's not going to get it. People are just curious about what you do and why.
Yeah. But, I mean, we're friends with a lot of real estate agents. But when you really think about it, what about when, you're just a random person and you're friends with one or two real estate agents, you're probably not going to see those posts. And a lot of them do generate. So that's kind of the flip side. A lot of people do, or those posts do generate a lot of interaction. So now those would be more key. I think they're silly, and because I see so many of them, so it becomes watered down. But if I put my kind of just layperson hat on and I'm not a realtor, then, you're seeing that, you're like interacting, and that's going to keep populating to the top of people's feeds. So.
Yeah. And I think still Facebook Lives they're going to push. It was interesting that they're going to do less video. So we do a lot of video content for our listings, and they're going to push less video organically. I think they went through a good year and a half in which they were pushing video organically, and now they're going to stop doing that. So I think video content is going to become just like image content now. But Facebook Live, I'm sure they're still going to be pushing that. So if you're a real estate agent, I would say definitely do some Facebook Lives of your house, or if you find something interesting while you're showing properties, do a little Facebook Live and show it. I think that would get people's attention. And I think Facebook is still going to promote it and post it and distribute it for you better. But I mean, this is something we're going to be studying. We spent a lot of money last week ahead of the changes, so that we can kind of have a baseline during this time of year, and then kind of take the same budget, same types of ads, do it again, and see if there's a difference in the price per conversion or the price per lead generated in, which for us is either a buyer or seller wanting to use our services or wanting to see a house we have listed.
Yeah.
There's Michael Brooks. Thanks, Michael. Glad you're hanging out. Michael's an investor that has an awesome house listed right now.
Ooh.
You got to see it. There's a tease. There's a tease.
So,
all right. Go ahead.
A little bit of a conundrum. I was going to say there's a little bit of a conundrum. Michael has the house listed, but Ray also has really great buyer's agents. So who do you call?
No, it is. He has it listed with me, or I wouldn't have said about it.
Okay. I'm glad that I subtly cleared that up.
That's good. I'm glad you didn't pick up the hint. All right. So the next on the deep dive, let's do our predictions. Are there going to be more homes sold this year or less homes sold this year than last year? Dan, you first.
Why me first? I don't want to go first. Okay, so again, I don't do research, but I did research.
Whoa.
So and it consisted of me going to the multiple listing service and plugging in 2 critical active single family bullet points, and then in the city that I searched, and then I hit search. Holy cow. It was super in depth.
What were your findings?
Well, again, I wanted to continue the trend because with our last episode, I did just my neighborhood, my city. So we'll call that my hometown. And then, so I did that one again, just active single family. And I did add a button. It was, so no distressed properties, only standard sales, meaning there's nothing underwater. There's no foreclosures in here. It's just all standard sales, which honestly, it wouldn't add too many. So right now in Rancho Cucamonga, there are 151. By the way, Ray, there's one new listing since before we started the show.
There you go.
So that's changed my prediction. Yes, there's going to be more.
That one.
Yep. That one's the key. So there's 151 active standard sales in Rancho Cucamonga. So there's no other criteria. And I broke it down by price point, and they range from about $300,000 is the low. So $305,000 is the lowest. And that's 1,040 square feet in not the best neighborhood, but not horrible. And then the highest, it goes all the way up to $1.8 million. Wow. So, yeah, so that's just in my one little city right here. So there's $300,000 all the way to 1.8. And we do get some over $2 million stuff, but it stays around 1.8 is the high. So, but I wanted to point out here that kind of the luxury market, which I've said before, starts in like the 6-ish, probably more like 700-800 range. There's only 30 homes under $500,000 right now, which that's an affordable range here. So there's only, let's see. Yep. Number 30 goes to 504,999, and that price has dropped. And I'm also looking at a lot of red arrows, which means it's been dropped. A ton of red arrows. Oh my gosh.
How many homes? So change it from active to sold.
Yeah.
Change it from active to sold and look at the last 3 months. How many homes sold in your area in 3 months?
So 151 actives, and then we'll go back to 3 months, which is, help me do the math, Ray. That's 74,000 days, right?
What?
How many days is in 3 months? 74,000?
Just go
90?
90 days.
Oh, 90. Okay.
Yeah, you have to put the number of days in it. We usually put a date range.
So we used to do that. So, but now when you hit closed, it automatically puts 6 months for you. It says 0 to 180.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's cool. It does it for you, or you can do a date range if you want. But I just went back 0 to 91 days, and there are 301 total sales. Again, same criteria. So closed back to 90 days.
Total sales. You have 150 left. So you have 1 month of inventory currently listed.
Because that would be about 100.
That would be 3 months. So you have
3 months left, right?
Just over. You have a month and a half of inventory,
right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So what that means that you have no supply. Still, even with that one extra one that you have today.
Yes.
So we are in a 3 to 4 month supply currently.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's better. That's a little healthier than ours. And remember too, here, let me do that breakdown again. So on the solds.
See, I told you he's a numbers guy. He's quick at that.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael. On and look at all these down red arrows. These are on the solds. I would say 75% missed the mark, and it's all down arrows, even though we don't have enough inventory and prices are getting pushed up. So
see, that's what I was telling you. I was seeing earlier is that the buyers seem to be price sensitive, even though there's not much inventory.
Dude, okay, so this is super interesting. I don't do stats or anything, but this is interesting. So what did I tell you? 29 listings under 500 grand. That was on the actives, right?
Right.
So listen to this number. Out of 300, there are 136 that were sold for 500 or less. So that sliding scale is off there. There's not enough lower end inventory. Right. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's what the Zillow study was saying too.
Yeah. So high end.
What, a month ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah, exactly. That's really interesting. Huh? Dude, live stats and facts with the bearded men of real estate.
Never. Let's see, that's one per day. Yeah, so you have less than a month of inventory for that one. So yeah, we're in a 3 to 4 month inventory most of the year. During the summer times, it could get to a 2 month. That's what it did last year. I tend to believe that people are going to see some equity in their house. They're going to see some rising rates. And I think in our area, we will sell more houses this year than last year. So especially with that last news story that I did, talking about how people are just sitting on their equity, trillions of dollars, I think people are going to begin to cash in on it because people have heard the low inventory now for 2 years, and they've heard rates are rising. So I think it's time to take the plunge. I think you'll see people start to do it. Also, in our area right now, you can get a great deal on a luxury home. There's 14, 15 month supply over 500,000, which in our area, 500,000 is luxury.
Yeah. So, and what do we always say here? Take this information that we're giving to you and take it to your clients. Those people that are on the fence, get them off the fence, leverage their equity while rates are still low, and they can flip that over into another property and maybe make some money. They don't have to put down whatever their equity is. They don't have to put down their, they don't have to transfer it all. They could keep some maybe liquid, maybe liquefy some of that equity and use it for something else, or buy a house that may be a little more expensive but needs a little bit of work. Use some of that equity and then leverage it. And then, if the house is here and you do the upgrades, then it's worth a little more. You can build even more equity. I think that's really interesting. Huh.
Yeah, even do like a little construction loan on the side and put some money into it.
Yes.
Okay, so
and still have a cushion there.
Right. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left. Let's go to the pick of the week. You ready? Okay, Dan.
Am I at first?
Yeah, you got it.
I have a thing?
Yeah, you have a pick of the week. Did you forget it?
Oh, I thought you were pointing to something. I thought I had something on my face.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Dan.
Wait, which side? I can't see.
Okay. One day, a long time from now, I'm totally going to do that to you on the show. I'm just going to keep doing that because I can hide it to where, like, you're right now the only one being shown. So I could just do this to you while you're doing a story.
So as a U.S. economist report that.
Oh, that's so good.
That's really good. Okay.
What's your pick of the week?
We as a team, the Sweat It group, have decided. Actually, Jacob decided he's kind of a tyrant, so he made us all do this. We didn't know it. Nobody wanted to do it, but he made us anyway. But anyway, we all decided that we wanted to start doing like a book club and read so many pages or whatever, and because we have a weekly team meeting every Tuesday morning. We wanted to go ahead and start a book club, then have conversations about it. And they don't have to necessarily be real estate related, but our first book is Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. Phil Knight. Not Phil Knight, the science guy. You might think Phil Nye, the science. No.
No, it's Bill Nye, isn't it?
Bill Nye, yeah. They're brothers, Phil and Bill. Anyway, yeah, Phil Knight. So it's the story of the dude that started Nike. And we're still early on in the book, 4, 5, 6 chapters early on, but it's a lot about his story, different upbringing than me, different benefits than me from parents to offspring. But it's super interesting because this kid at 24 years old still had to be really, really, really committed. And, you know, it's that entrepreneurial spirit, which Jacob and I are constantly thinking outside the box. How can we change the industry a little bit? How can we change our marketing? How can we impress our sellers more and more? So it's that entrepreneurial spirit of him, and he had to commit to it. Like, this wasn't an easy thing. It was the early 60s. Japan still wasn't an ally. In fact, it was kind of taboo to travel over there, and he wanted to go. He's like, this is where I go to get these shoes, and this is what I have to do. And he's just super committed. So it's a great read so far. I'll keep reporting on it if you guys want to hear about it. I would highly recommend this book, or just overall start a book club. Jacob always gives this stat that's the average amount of books that CEOs are going to read in a year. Gosh, what was it? I think it was 60 books in a year.
No, it's going to be like 16. 60 is like crazy. Is it 60? It must be all small books.
Yeah, it's all 4-page books. No, the average works out to they're reading a book a week.
Oh wow!
Like, yeah, they're reading a lot of book, and you know, it's just the whole thing. They read, they learn, they expand their mind, and then they can apply those principles. So, you guys can fact check that stat out there if you would like, because it's probably wrong.
Please check that.
Please don't, but whatever, I don't care. It's a rad book, or I just want to kind of say, start a little, you know, it's an accountability thing. Every week you got to read this much and you want to talk about it. It'll expand your mind a little bit. I highly recommend at least starting a book club. And then this book has been really good so far. So
good. I like it.
Yeah.
Let's see, 52 weeks in a year. So it's not 60. Another mathematician watching.
That wasn't the question, Jackie. So.
Well, 60 bucks is not a book a week, but that's okay.
Dude, wait. If you go to Google, and unless it's hearing me, but I literally searched CEO read, and it's autofilling 60 books a year. Boom.
Read.
Yeah. Most CEOs read more than 60 books per year. Find out why. A book a week. Dude,
like, I can't even find that many good books.
Well, you better find something.
All right. Book recommendations. Drop them. Okay. All right. So my pick of the week is something super functional that I've used to sell a lot of homes. I'm going to go big screen so you can see the whole thing. This is very important. Okay, you see this? Whoa. Tape measure.
What is it, guys?
Right? Okay, so here's what happened, though. I was using a tape measure for a long time. And then I found this toy, a laser measure. This one's by Boss.
We couldn't figure out how to say that. Boss. Yeah, so maybe you guys know. Drop it in the comments below.
It's got a laser beam. Okay, so here's how I've been using this to right on Dan Smith. So here's how I've been using this to help me sell houses. It's been really cool. People a lot of times want to know how big is this, how big is that, And so one time not one time, this happened multiple occasions. We were walking through a house and it had some terrible carpet in the room, and they're like, we'd want to remove this carpet and put in flooring. Well, I knew the price of flooring because we were doing a remodel. So I shot my little tape measure and I wrote down 3 quotes for them. I said, here you go. That's 3 quotes to replace the flooring with some, pre-engineered hardwood, good stuff, including all the glue and everything like that you would need. And they looked at me and they were like, well, we thought it was going to cost a lot more than that. We'll take it. So, okay, cool.
Nice.
So this is kind of part of a larger story. Build yourself like a little kit or something that you kind of always have in your car. I always keep this at a certain place in my car. Every time I go show a house, I pull it out. Helps me show homes. Helps me sell homes because people are always asking, what's the size of this bedroom? In our area, they used to input all that stuff, and now they don't. Like, we have a page on the MLS input for room sizes, and no one uses it at all. So I started using this to figure out the room sizes. I still carry this little 9-footer with me because I figure if somebody has a couch larger than 9 feet, I can step it off. But most of the time people want to know about where their couch would fit. And it's usually 6, 7, 8, 9 feet. So I still carry that with me. So I can put that in the floor, then I can shoot the room, and we can figure out everything that we need to know for the room. So there's a real practical tip. Really good. Probably a lot of you older agents watching, new or agents that have been in the business new or use, but agents may be missing some of those little pieces to their toolkit. The other thing I would recommend carrying with you is a flashlight. Not to go into crawl spaces, but to walk into foreclosures. So I don't do crawl spaces or attics, but I will take that flashlight and walk around a foreclosure. So, but yeah, build yourself a little kit.
That's great. Super. It's really good, especially the mentality of, because I'll always have it like, will our fridge fit here or will our sofa fit here? Yeah. So I have a big 25-footer, but the room size, it's always a guess. I think this is a 10 by 11 or something, Yeah. So it's great to have that mentality. Yeah. Well, and it's just, honestly, it's awesome to have. It's just always rad to have that kind of extra service. How are you going to add extra service? Because with, these markets we're predicting or not predicting, we always say it, man, a lot of those not so productive agents or not so amazing agents or agents that work less, they're all going to kind of shake loose and fall off the tree. So the more and more you can do for your clients, the better. So great hint, Ray.
Yep.
I love it.
There you go. All right, everybody. Is that it from you, Dan? You got anything else to add? Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you? Oh, yeah, we got to do our shot. Let me put you on the big screen.
We got
and then I'm going to fill in. Okay, so the story is, hold your shot, please. It's like a timeout to ice the kicker. The story is, Dan, I think I asked you how many you can make, and you were like, probably 1 in 10. I said, okay, if you make it, I'll give you $100. But if you miss, you got to give $10 to some kind of charity. And right now we're up to $20. Yeah. He's missed twice. So then after you miss your shot, you can tell everybody where to find you. So,
all right,
let's see if somebody's.
By the way, you need to watch because I made one earlier, and yes, I practiced this. I made one earlier, and I couldn't tell if it went in, but I heard it, and kind of saw us in here. So,
well, all 6 viewers that we have can chime in too. And
no, it's a miss anyway. Who cares? $30.
Close. That wasn't even anywhere near what.
It's the pressure, dude. I can't handle the pressure, dude. All my practice shots were pretty much on the rim, and that one was just horrible. So,
so
anyway, I just like giving away money. I'm D Ludwig Rocks. D Ludwig, not Dan Ludwig. I'm D Ludwig Rocks everywhere.
Wait, hang on.
Hold on, Ray's got to update.
Color video got to edit.
I always talk about our goofy videos and things we do. If you want to find those, just go to the sweatetgroup.com. That'll take you to our Facebook page. Or I'm D Ludwig Rocks everywhere, on the Etsy's, on the Googles, on the just on all the interwebs. I'm D Ludwig Rocks everywhere. So look me up. Minus $30. That is so good. That is so good.
Okay, so for me, you guys know where to find me because you already found me. But if you're searching other places online, pretty much anywhere you can type Ray Zorback. That's RayZorback. And you'll find social profiles and such, Instagram, Twitter. That's kind of all my personal stuff. So if you want to see some of the business stuff we do and the videos we're producing, some of the Facebook marketing that we talked about earlier, you can check out RayEllenGroup.com, or you can go to Facebook.com/RayEllenGroup, and that's Ellen with an E, RayEllen. No,
not Allen.
The Ray Allen, famous basketball NBA superstar. So
he's not.
Which every time I make a hotel reservation, the person asks is like, Ray Allen? I'm like, no. Like, it's so excited, and then I was like, no. So,
but you should just say yes now.
I thought about being like, yeah, but then they're gonna be like, oh, okay, so you get the most expensive room in the hotel available that day, and I just don't want to pull that off. It's too showy.
Yeah, just start doing your speaking engagements, but demand payment up front, and then when you show up, okay, yeah,
gotcha. He's a little shorter than we thought.
A little bit.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Dan, thanks for being here with me. Thanks for all the interaction. Everybody that did comment, we really appreciate that. And if you like the show, please share it so that we will keep doing it.